It was named one of the best new restaurants in Seattle last year, and now more than 1 year after opening its doors, Ramie on Captiol Hill is thriving. Trinh Nguyen joins me now to share more on how the menu is expanding, and you're going to teach me how to make something as usual. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So for someone that's never been to the restaurant, obviously the new thing is brunch. What can you tell people?
So for someone who's never been to the restaurant, this might be a great introduction to, Ramie, also Vietnamese food, because we do a lot of classic like breakfast, brunch items, but also, French-inspired Vietnamese flavored dessert or pastries. But if someone who've already been to Ramie, this menu is completely opposite. I've had guests come in, they're like, okay, chef, tell me about this dish. I said, it's basically just as it says, there's no guessing behind it. It's a lot of familiar flavors. The only side that it's very different is going to be on the pastry side. But if they want something innovative, or they want something cool, or like creative, or contemporary, I would say come back for dinner.
Okay, and I've been for dinner, and it is exactly that. It's amazing, but this brunch food looks great. We're going to talk about everything you brought in a minute, but first we're going to get to what we're cooking today. So what do you have for us?
So this dish this is called Tôm pave, or Palms pave is what a lot of people knows it for. It's basically layers of crispy like potatoes that's built. So I started out putting this on as an amuse-bouche, which is the beginning bite to every dinner.
Yeah, like a little appetizer.
Yeah, and then people liked it so much that I was like, you know what, why don't we do it in a bigger portions for brunch? And people always ask about them. And so it's so time consuming. People always ask how it's made, so I thought, why not share with
Show everybody,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, how do we get started?
So we have a tool that we use to cut the potatoes. So what you do is you start with peeling the potato, and then we use the tools to cut it into like really thin slices. As you can see, they're very uniform.
They look like almost like a ribbon. That doesn't look real. It's so thin.
Not only that, but it's like it's thin. It's the same identical shape, so for consistency. So that's how you're able to build these like thin, consistent layers.
Yes.
And then from there, you'll build it onto a pan. We recommend using a stainless steel pan so that you can unmold it later, and I'll talk about a little bit about that in a minute. But so you'll start with layers, and you want the same. If you're starting with vertical, you want to consistently do vertical layers. If you're starting with horizontal, you want to do the same. So you built them. And then,
how would you describe the flavor when this is done too, for people that haven't tried this?
Imagine having like 1,000 thin slices of like French fries stacked on top of each other,
Yum.
or even like potato chips, but like soft, crunchy, crispy, and I mean it's fried, so.
Anything fried, I'm all in. How do you season it?
So you season it with, this is our house seasoning. There's a little bit of salt and pepper to just the ratio we want. And then we're doing a starch on top. And what the starch does is it helps keep it from, sticking together. Mm-hmm. So then that way, if you, once you cook it, it's basically the binds, right? So then you just repeat that process again. So you layer the potatoes.
And what did you put? Was that just oil after the starch?
Yep.
Okay,
so
olive oil?
You can do olive oil, you can do vegetable oil, you can do butter.
When in Rome.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that I will say is in terms of starch, I do recommend using a pure starch product. What that does is it gives you a very crispy texture versus if you like, let's say if you don't have anything in your pantry and you're using all-purpose, you're just not going to be able to achieve that really crispy thin texture when you fry them.
And when you're done there, where do you move to?
So when you're done there, you put a parchment over it, then it goes into the oven 350 for an hour and 40 minutes.
And then this is what it's looking like with that?
So then you take it out, you put the same size container over, and you find something really, really heavy, and you weight it down, and you put it in the fridge overnight.
Whoa, it is time consuming.
It's so time consuming, but it's so much love.
Yes,
like so much love. So then after that, you torch it. So that's why I said stainless steel container, so that you can torch to unmold. From there, then when you unmold, then you can cut it to the size that you want. So this is the size that we typically work with. And as you can see, even before, it's almost like croissant, if you think about it, right? But with potatoes. And then from there,
Look at the layers on it. That's incredible.
So you think of croissant. Croissant is typically about 75 layers. And then we, really now I'm thinking about it, brunch is all about layers. Like
Yeah.
there's potato layers, there's
Croissants.
croissant layers.
So now you're frying it, right?
And then once you get it to the size that you want, then it goes into the fryer at 350 degree. One other thing that I want to show you, this is my puff pastry called Captiol.
Stunning.
It is so big, but I said, you know what, go big or go home, right? Usually in a deli size, you find it at being like half the size. But I said, you know what, if I'm doing it, I want it so big that people come in, they can share it with their friends and family. This is like our childhood favorite that is, we're serving it for brunch. And we make our puff pastry in-house, our filling in-house. I mean, everything is made with
What's
the labor
inside?
of love.
What's the...
It's a meat pie.
Okay, I'm gonna dive in.
So if you really think about it, it's, like Australian meat pies. This is like our French inspired meat pie.
Yeah.
So once you get in the middle, so
Yeah.
this is layers, but then once you get in the middle,
Oh,
is
I
when
see
you
it
get
now.
I should have brought a knife.
No, it's okay. It's a struggle. I got it. What else did you bring here? You brought so many popular items. I want to showcase all your pastries.
So we have, your standard croissant, pain au chocolat. We have this. Here is our breakfast croissant. So typically you see ham, cheese. With us is pate, pickled daikon, Kewpie mayo, Chinese sausage, and then pork floss. A lot of people always ask me what pork floss is. It's basically dehydrated pork that we, the method that we used back in the days because we don't have access to refrigerations.
And what's over here too? What else did you bring?
This,
obviously the final product. I'm trying that.
Of the Palms pave. It's served with shrimp powder. It's served with whipped honey cream cheese. So you want to take a little bit of that and then dip in this.
Okay. And you guys, I understand, are celebrating an anniversary too. Tell me about that.
So our family restaurant, which started in 2005, celebrated 20 years anniversary. And we thought it would be so fun to celebrate it with the community with rolling back prices to 20 years ago. We're talking bowls of pho for $5. We're talking rice platter for $7. Prices that you know about it, but you don't see it anymore.
Oh, that is amazing. You are amazing. This is a fried bowl of happiness. It is so good. The labor of love was worth it. Thank you so much, Trinh.